Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Power episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, Stacy and I are going to be discussing the new trailer for Power Book 2, Ghost. And we see what the initial defense of Tasha will be to get her out of jail. We have Tamika, who's her initial defense lawyer, who seems to be leading Big Mama, Yaz, and Tariq into court. And we hear Tamika giving her opening statement for her trial. And it seems they're going to try to paint James St. Patrick as a violent, murdering man. Stacy, what do you think of this defense?
Well, he is a violent, murdering man. I guess I question how far they're going to go to prove that, because they spent so much time disproving that he was this violent man. And now they want to say he's violent. So are they going to pin Silver on him? Are they going to pin Keisha on him? Like, how many bodies are they going to pin on him to prove that he's just this violent person?
And that's a good point. How do you show violence, but not the fact that he's this drug dealer referred to as Ghost? Tasha and Tariq certainly do not want that, because that ruins their reputation, opens them up to investigation. So that's not a good idea. But as you said, they can easily bring up Silver because Sax and Blanca, if Blanca shows up in book 2, witnessed the bruises on Tasha. So let's start with domestic abuse, actually. So Ghost beat up Tasha in season 6 and season 2. She didn't file a police report in either one of those incidences. But in season 6, at least, Blanca and Sax did see her with the bruises on her arm as they went over to ask her, what did Ghost actually kill anyone? Killed Keisha. They came over there to see if Tasha knew that Ghost killed Keisha, and her response was no, but he definitely killed Silver. And they looked at and they.
Section 2
of the airport, because she knew exactly.
Like,
what the? Okay, but I don't rehash that horrible plot hole right there. But they can easily bring that up. You have 2 cops, 2 law enforcement officials who've seen, the violence that Ghost can do. James St. Patrick and the body, but they couldn't prove it. The problem is you can't. I don't think legally you can accuse, especially a dead person, of things that you couldn't prove that they did. I mean, I don't know how far.
It's circumstantial.
It's very circumstantial.
To convince the jury that it is possible that he actually did it, in order to sway them in saying, okay, well, he is a violent person. Maybe she had to kill him.
And this is where Tariq can come in, because Tariq has plenty of experiences of Ghost choking the shit out of him. So he can speak to that. My dad was violent. He was a drunk. I was scared of him. He beat up Tate. They can bring Tate into season 2.
Yes.
He beat up Tate in front of a whole bunch of people. Okay. So they have a lot of interesting ways of using book 1 material to publicly show that James St. Patrick had a temper. He drunk too much, without bringing up the drug dealing and the murders they actually did commit. So that they can actually just focus on that, and they could have a justified defense on that. The problem is, how is she going to explain that she tried to pin the murder on her boyfriend? That's not the actions of a victim, who defended herself and thought that she did the right thing legally. Like that's going to be a hard. That's what the prosecution is going to bring up, I'm sure.
Yes, that's a tough one. She'd probably just say, "Oh, I was scared, and I didn't know. I didn't mean to frame him. I just left the gun at his house in a drawer while we were having sex."
Next to the Magnum condoms, because they have to keep on showing those. So, I mean, and who's the prosecutor in this? So we don't see that. So I'm assuming somehow Sax is a part of this. And this And this brings the issue up for Tamika because she does give the opening statement, but at some point, Tariq has to go get a new lawyer. And this is where Method Man Davis McLean comes into play. And he tells a teenager, you got to give me $500K before I even touch this case.
And where exactly is he going to get that type of money?
So then this leads to Tariq saying, well, I just start slinging drugs at college. And I'm like, let's see if I got this straight. So Tariq goes to college, somehow meets Mary J. Blige's daughter, I would imagine, sparks up a relationship, meets her mother, and then he pitches her on the idea of, excuse me, Miss Drug Dealer, did you realize that college students buy drugs? Did you know that? And she's gonna be like, oh shit, I never thought about that. This is a whole new stream of revenue I didn't think about. Go ahead, boy, I just met a couple of weeks ago. Please run my drugs by yourself in college. That's what we're doing, huh? That's the storyline that we're gonna be doing with this, huh? Mm-hmm. And somehow he by himself he generates enough money to pay $500K to Davis, and he brings it to him in cash. And Davis doesn't question where this kid got this kind of money from. I saw Braden is back. I saw him in a couple of scenes. He goes to a black strip club somehow. There's a quick scene of him dressed in black, and there's a black woman sitting on a table, and he walks up to her. I'm assuming Tariq is the one that took him there. And at the very end of the trailer, he's making it rain with money. What's up? But then we see a lot of things going on. There's a lot of criminality going on related to Mary J. Blige. She seems to have a pretty big organization, a lot of young people running around in different things. That one woman that the young lady seems to be with her a lot. Again, I'm assuming that's her daughter. A love interest for Tariq. There's another woman with blonde hair, something, that Tariq seems to be too. So Tariq's gonna have a lot of love interest in opportunities in book 2. You know what that means, right?
Please don't reproduce. That's all I'm saying.
Tariq's gonna have a couple love scenes. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. Tariq's gonna have sex at some point in this show. And what we don't see is Effie. Effie is confirmed, according to Kim said, or Effie is coming back. I don't think I saw her. That's what happens. Maybe he starts off with Mary J. Blige's daughter. Effie comes back, and now he has an Angie Tasha situation. There has to be some kind of love triangle going on in this thing. And if he meets up with Mary J. Blige's daughter, he don't know Effie's gonna come in. And right when they're starting to get together, that's his end to Mary J. Blige's drug organization. Who's the Latino man that Mary J. Blige is talking to? I'm assuming she's actually talking to him. How can we trust Tariq? How is he so important to her organization all of a sudden? That she
or something, right?
He looks like he's in jail though. I mean, it could be, but I mean, he definitely locked up somewhere. So that'd be interesting. But again, how does Tariq, in such a short amount of time, Tariq becomes somehow very important to her organization that she has to talk to her partner about him specifically? Yaz. Yaz, I believe Yaz is actually talking in this book. There's a scene where Tasha's in prison and she's on the phone early in the trailer and she's telling someone, hey baby, your dad was a complicated man. I'm pretty sure she's talking to Yaz at that point, because Tariq already knows who his daddy is.
You telling your daughter that her father was complicated right before you accuse him of being a murderous criminal in front of everybody.
Hey, you gotta get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh, by the way, I killed him.
Huh?
And oh, by the way, daughter, I killed your daddy. How does this work?
That's gonna be a hard conversation. That means we should see more of Estelle / Big Mama now. If Yaz is gonna be more in there, we should see more of Estelle and how she's helping Yaz cope with this current situation. Both of her.
Big Mama is currently grooming Yaz to get a boyfriend with money so she can move out on her own.
I'm gonna tell you what I told your mama. Find a rich drug dealer if you got to, but you got to get up and get out of here. All right? Like,
Go for a drug dealer. She's probably gonna get her like a ball player or something a little bit more legit.
okay. But ultimately, find a man to take care of you. Like your mama, she didn't do good this time, you know.
Maybe what your mama did.
Find somebody who makes legal money, but what you don't do is work. That's what you don't do. Like you find a man to take care of you. First rule: women don't work. They find a man that works. You don't want Estelle raising your child. Like, I think Tasha, much like Dre, it's like, shit, I tried so hard to keep my mama away from my child, and in the end,
it's not that bad.
yeah, she kind of was. Speaking of Dre, real quick, they really should have been pinning this thing on Dre. He's dead. You can't get better than that. He was at the scene of the crime. Blanca saw him. I mean, like, he was his baby mama can testify that he was there to kill Ghost, and he came out after the gunshot. You could pin this whole thing on Dre, and Tasha walks away easy.
Yep.
I don't know why they're like, oh my God, we gotta try something new. Saxe is like, get your mom to tell the truth. What truth does he mean? That she in fact did kill Ghost? Like, what does he think the truth is? Is Saxe still trying to use this case to prove his overall point that James St. Patrick was in fact the drug dealer Ghost, which would validate everything he did against Ghost?
Yes.
So maybe that's it. So maybe that's it. That's why he's involved. Because this is a local murder. Like, why would Saxe and the U.S. the Attorney's Office even be involved in this case?
Right. Like, it's not a federal thing.
It's not a federal thing. So I'm like, why is he even involved? So that'd be interesting to see what is Saxe's role in this whole thing. Is he still carrying the whole? Does he still believe that Ghost killed Angie, and he's still trying to run that to ground? Right?
Ghost did everything.
Ghost did everything.
No,
actually, Tommy did most of that shit. To be honest.
Yeah. Prove it on Ghost.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Maybe Saxe will say that if Tasha admits that James was Ghost and that he killed Angie and everybody else in New York, that he will work a deal to get Tasha out in a few years or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe that's it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. What do you want to see? How do you think Tasha's going to get out of jail? Is she going to get out of jail? Will she be murdered in jail for some reason? But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you again for episode 1.